Well, here we are. It took us 6 years and too many fucking movies to count, but we did it. We're here. It's over. The Sony Spider-Verse is done. And man, they went out with a whimper with Kraven the Hunter. What a birthday present they've gifted me here, huh? Look, I remember saying something at the beginning of the year when I reviewed the Spider-Man 2 video game, something along the lines of this. It just makes me so mad, you know? Like, movies cannot get a Venom story correct, and it has to take a video game under the same developer to actually get Venom right. Makes me scared what Kraven the Hunter is gonna look like when Aaron Taylor Johnson takes that part. Am I Nostradamus or something? So yeah, this movie was directed by J.C. Chandor, who's actually a pretty well-acclaimed filmmaker. He did A Most Violent Year about a decade ago, which is actually a really solid film. And this movie's got some solid actors in it. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ariana DeBose, who has an Oscar win to her name already, Russell Crowe, who needs no introduction at this point. And Aaron Taylor Johnson plays the infamous Kraven the Hunter, whose complex relationship with his ruthless father, played by Russell Crowe, starts him down a path of vengeance. This motivates him to become not only the greatest hunter in the world, but also one of its most feared. Now look, here's something that I'll give the movie credit for, is the R rating. Yeah, congratulations, Sony. It only took you 6 fucking years to figure that one out. And I know there's some people out there who really, really love the Venom movies, but the fact that those things are not rated R, it just shows you that Sony has no balls. And they were so worried about making enough money with Venom to make it not rated R that it really did not bring justice to that character. So now we have Kraven the Hunter, which is rated R, and I will say this, the action sequences, albeit very hilariously stupid, you at least get some blood here, which Kraven the Hunter as a brutish badass absolutely needs. Like, this guy is killing people with a tiger tooth. He's stabbing fools in the neck. Like, they had to make this rated R. And for what we got, I mean, you know, it's there. Because the story sure ain't there. Oh my god, where do I even begin to open up this can of worms, man? I will tell you this much. Aaron Taylor Johnson is acting his heart out. It is clear that he is ripped out the gills. It is clear that he has put in the work, the physical work for this part. And Aaron Taylor Johnson already has a stacked resume to his name. Unfortunately, this starring vehicle is not it for him. And I'll be honest, I don't really think that this guy is the right fit for Kraven necessarily. And maybe this is just me who is a bit spoiled off of Spider-Man 2. With what Insomniac did with Kraven the Hunter, that is the quintessential, like, portrayal of that character. I don't think anything else is going to come close to the intimidation factor and the absolute physical mass that he was. Kraven the Hunter is supposed to be a unit. It's not that Aaron Taylor Johnson is not an absolute unit when it comes to muscle mass, but I feel like he's a bit too much of a heartthrob to play this guy. I'm not saying that you pick the ugliest motherfucker on the face of the planet to play Kraven, but I feel like Aaron Taylor Johnson's a bit too good looking for him. Give credit to Russell Crowe also for trying with a pretty nothing role, in a role that honestly shouldn't have been nothing. That's honestly my biggest issue with Kraven the Hunter, is this story is so all over the place. Like, it's clear that this movie was probably catered to be the Kraven versus his father storyline, and how his father was a bit too much of a hard ass on him, and Sergei basically wanted to run away from him, and he wanted to basically break the shackles that his father was putting on him. He never wanted to become his father. Like, oh my god, that's a really great movie in there. I guarantee you that the studio did not want that good movie though. Because we have to go through the Rhino villain arc. And oh my god, this Rhino is such a dweeb. And I don't even think they realize how much of a dweeb they made the Rhino. If you thought Paul Giamatti was bad in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 as this same character, compared to this guy, Paul Giamatti had it good. And listen, I hope this actor recovers well from this absolute debacle of a performance. And the CGI that they put him on when he actually does become the Rhino is laughable. Like, it's gonna take that man a few years to recover from this one, man. You also have Ariana DeBose in here playing Calypso. It honestly felt like she was sleepwalking through this movie. And I usually love her in a lot of the things that I've seen her in. But this one, I'm like, the dialogue, you're just not convincing enough, girl. You're not. Your chemistry with Aaron Taylor Johnson is almost non-existent. There's some cool ideas in here with Calypso, in that she is saving Kraven when he's a young boy and injecting him with this really nice witchy poison. There's some ideas for a good movie in here, but every single thing that this script does drops the ball on it. It's almost to the point where this movie is almost in a so bad it's good way. Because I was honestly laughing my ass off at a good chunk of this movie. The third act really falls off a cliff, especially once Sergei's brother Dmitri is kidnapped by our villains. That's where the movie kind of steamrolls into the point of no return, where it's like, you can't save this movie from the dog shit that it is. It doesn't matter that this studio gave me the birthday present of a rated R Spider-Man villain movie. Like, yeah, good on you for learning that lesson from not making a Venom versus Carnage movie not rated R. And guys, like, this is probably what's gonna blow your mind the most. This movie has predictably been bombing at the box office since it came out. I guarantee you that these studio execs are going to blame the bombing on the fact that they made it rated R. Look in the mirror, look at your movie, look at how shitty it is, and look at how tired us as Spider-Man fans are. That's why this movie bombed, because we are all so damn tired of these movies coming out. It's a classic case of same shit, different day. Doesn't matter which Spider-Man villain you put out there. Doesn't matter which Spider-Man villain you try and build up for Tom Holland, which is never going to happen. No Way Home made that abundantly fucking clear. So I think it's best to do what Wade Wilson said back in July. Let's just take the L and let's move the on. Because Kraven the Hunter really is one of the worst comic book movies I've ever seen. I don't know if it's as bad or worse than Madam Web. Both those movies are on pretty equal footing, I would say. And it's a really hard question to ask me. Which film, if I were forced, would I want to watch more than the other one? Like, I honestly can't pick between the two right now. Because Kraven the Hunter has some of the worst storytelling I've ever seen in a comic book movie. It has one of the weirdest, stupidest origin stories I've seen. It has some of the most god-awful pacing I've ever seen. And not to mention some of the worst editing that I've ever laid my eyes on. Like, how did these make it past the cutting room floor, past the first draft of this movie? Like, wasn't this supposed to come out last year and they postponed it because they were supposed to fix all the problems? Yeah, it's clear none of these problems were ever fixed. Because I'm not kidding you guys, I'm not done. The dubbing in this movie is like Batman and Robin level bad. And you know it's a weird omen when I have to say this about Kraven the Hunter. At least Batman and Robin I can laugh at. At least I would rather rewatch Batman and Robin over the sheer stupidity of how funny it is. There's nothing fun about Kraven the Hunter. It's absolutely one of the worst movies of the year. I'm going to give Kraven the Hunter a big fat F. If you guys are looking for the best comic book movie you've ever seen, take your hunt somewhere else. And take your money somewhere else. Like, don't give it to Sony. Don't reward them for their god-awful, like, handling of these Spider-Man villains. But thank God, we're done. Let's put our pencils down, and if you want to revisit all these characters down the line with Tom Holland as your main character, fine. Just don't give them their own movies. Don't make them look like heroes. I gotta calm down. But guys, thank you so much again for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Tap on that thumbs up as well if you haven't already. Loads more fun content to come as we bring 2024 to a close. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much again for tuning in. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.